Plaintiffs Derek Hill and his wife Ashley say they hired the defendant to do construction on their pool house, and it was the worst mistake they've ever made. Ashley claims the defendant is a con artist who got drunk on the job, and they're suing him for stolen and damaged property. Defendant James Pickanu says when he met the plaintiffs, he thought they were swingers, and when he confronted Derek about it, he claimed they weren't, but that they were open to it. James denies owing the plaintiffs, and he's countersuing for breach of contract.
Start with you.
Okay, so basically hiring James over here to do our pool house is the worst decision we could have possibly made. In the beginning, he was really charming and sweet, and we really thought that he could get the work done.
How did you find him?
On Craigslist, actually. We had gone through 3 different people, and he seemed like he could do it the best. And along the way, we found out that he wasn't the person that we thought he could be.
How so?
Well, in the beginning, he had us do some of the work as far as like the trench and stuff. We actually did it, and he didn't do that as part of the electrical work that he had originally stated, which I have a picture here where I had actually dug the trench.
Did you get an estimate?
Yes, we have the total contract.
Before he began?
Yes, correct.
Did it have you doing the trench?
No, so he was going to do all the electrical, drywall, and insulation.
I know, so how did it switch over to you doing?
So basically, he's a con artist. So in the beginning, he had stated...
Do you have the estimate?
Yes,
Oh.
so I'll give you that.
This is rather odd.
Yes. And then here's everything that we had paid him.
That's the best con I've heard of.
Yeah, right? You do the work.
Yeah, you pay me and you do the work. This isn't an estimate of the repairs, ma'am.
On there, it just said all labor for electrical, drywall, and insulation, labor and materials.
Okay, so I don't know much about contracting. What requires you to dig a ditch or a trench?
The electrical. So
That's
he had
what I was
to pull
asking.
electrical from our main house to a pool house. He's doing it in a pool house, so we had to bury all the cables and everything
So
to
when he
start the
told
electrical.
you to do it, did you say, are you gonna reduce what we're paying you?
No, basically he had said that his back was hurting and that he needed us to do it, so we went ahead and we did it for him.
Wow.
So,
Okay. All right, what else would you like me to know?
basically,
Go ahead.
basically he was drinking on the job and would take beer out of our refrigerator. And we also found out later that he has a drinking problem and has a long record of drinking problems.
Any other work he have you all do? This is very odd.
Well, when he didn't finish it, we had to do all of the work. But
I just gotta get back to this digging the trench. So you were to pay him to dig the trench, and what ultimately happened? He was sitting back drinking your beer,
yes.
watching you dig your own trench.
Well, he wasn't there. So basically what also happened is he gave us another sob story because we were supposed to pay $50 up front, $50 when it was over.
$50.
50% of it.
Gotcha.
We ended up paying it up in full, which you'll find out later. But he had also said that his son had broken his arm, and so he needed more money up front, so he conned us into basically paying him more money up front. Later on, he had stated that his car had broken down and that he was getting a ride from his other friend who was working here as well, and so that's why he was late and didn't actually, come on
Sir,
time.
you want to give me some background?
Yeah, Your Honor. When I first met Derek and Ashley, I thought they were really nice. They were very hospitable. I even thought they might have been swingers because in his back porch, he's turned into a man cave, and in that man cave, he's got a bar with lights on it, with a cell phone on the wall, and the lights on the bar flash to the music that's playing on this cell phone. Okay, and then in their living room, they have a disco light and a laser light and a big screen TV that the lights flash to the video on the TV. So I asked Derek, I said, hey, are you guys swingers or what? And he said, no, but we're open to it. And I said, well, cut me in or cut it out.
Just because they had disco lights in their home,
And laser lights.
laser lights, that made you think they wanted to have sex with other couples. What kind of freak are you?
That shows
Right.
his
You
ability.
can't have laser light. Is that what you do when you go to fix somebody's house? Hey, you got laser lights. Can me and my wife have sex with you and your wife? Ugh, gross. He asked y'all that?
He did ask.
And what you do?
I said no.
Yeah, we thought he was crazy.
That's all, sir. You didn't say, where's this coming from?
Well, because I saw a map.
Quiet.
All right.
Huh?
No, I did not ask him why he thought that. I thought it was odd, and he
He's
had.
kind of different.
How about, let me
an
ask
odd
you
person.
now, how about digging the trench that you were paying him to do? Did you think that was odd?
Yeah, actually, but when we first met, he was really nice, and we really kind of kicked it off. And as time started going on, it kind of started falling away. He started making excuses for stuff while he was late and everything, and kind of making us feel for him, all these sob stories. And one of them was he had hurt his back and he cannot do the trench.
All right, I heard her tell me that. Go ahead, sir. Continue your.
Well, how can you swing with a bad back?
That's a good point. She said, no, your back is bad. Go ahead, sir.
Also, Your Honor, I found a mask in the garage when he was showing me the panel, and that was another reason why I joked with him about them being swingers.
right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And that was more comical a joke.
Okay, you were joking.
But then later on, Your Honor, I found out their true colors when they went behind my back and breached the contract with me and hired my helper.
All right, we'll get to the specifics of the case. Now, so far, you all have told me he had you all dig the trenches. All right, so give me item by item. What are you suing him for?
Okay, so for stolen property, we're $1,448.
What property did he steal?
Yep, so it's going to be our tools.
When?
And that's going to be while we were on vacation. We
What
were
month?
on vacation July.
July of 15?
5th to the 18th. We got back on the 18th.
Okay.
And then
And you got back, and what was missing?
then the tools, the insulation, and the drywall. And then our whole liquor cabinet was completely taken as well, like everything in it.
No, when you ask him about your tools, your insulation, and what else?
And then as far as damage.
Drywall.
Yeah,
What did he
drywall.
tell you?
And then as far as the damage.
What did he tell you when you asked about it?
Oh, when I asked about it, all I did was send him a bunch of texts and told him all about it. And then
What did he say?
he didn't respond in 90% of them.
That's not true.
The 10% he did respond to, what did he say?
Well, it wasn't him speaking. It was his
So he
girlfriend
didn't
that decided.
respond to anything then.
No, not really.
Poor things. We'll move y'all to Detroit. Give y'all some game. Go ahead, sir. You tell me, what did you do to these nice, innocent folks?
Your Honor, the bid for the electrical work was $1,750, and that included me digging the trench. Derek asked me personally, he said, if I dig the trench, will that save me any money? And I said, yes, that will save you $500. Okay, so that's why he dug the trench, okay? And because I was running behind on schedule, I offered to fill the trench back in for no payment. Okay, so that's a flat-out lie when he sits there and tells you that they dug that trench for free. So I took out $500 for him to dig. Tools, okay, they sent a detective to my house because they said I took tools, insulation, fiber, drywall, and then stole liquor, okay? First of all, he offered us liquor every day we were out there. He did shots with us, and when he would leave the house, he would leave his man cave open where the bar is at and say, help yourselves if you guys want anything. He would bring us beer out to the pool house when we were working.
What happened to the insulation, the tools, and the drywall?
Okay, I have no clue what happened to them.
And they were gone on vacation?
Yeah, they did go on vacation.
While the tools, drywall, and insulation was there, they were on vacation, and you don't know what happened to them after that.
The last time I was at that house, Your Honor, okay, the drywall and the
When was
insulation was
that?
there. I think it might have been a couple days after they went on vacation, like the 6th or the 7th. I went out there and ran that wire.
And you never went back?
I did not.
After the 7th?
Nope. And I did have some tools, and a detective contacted me about all of this, and I told the detective that I had the tools, but the only reason I had
Were
them
they
is-
their tools?
Yes.
You just told me you didn't know what happened to their things.
No. I had their tools. I don't know what happened
You
to their
just told me
insulation
you
and
didn't
drywall.
know what happened to their things.
Your Honor, I coordinated the return of those tools
I
to a
understand. You
detective.
just told me you didn't know what happened to their things. Now
I
you're
didn't mean to say
changing
that.
your
I did
story.
not mean to say
I
that.
know you didn't mean to, but you did. You're trying to con the wrong
not.
person.
I'm not trying
I
to
know
con
the game backwards and forwards.
I'm not trying
This
to con you, Your Honor.
fast talking goes nowhere with me. You went somewhere with them, but it didn't go far because they're suing you. So you couldn't even con these innocent folks. And they're naive to the game. What's your counterclaim for?
Well, number one, they stopped payment on a $300 check for the drywall. Okay, so they owe me for that, and then $250 of it is the rest of the labor for the drywall that they breached the contract on because they went behind my back and hired my helper to do it. And Derek told me flat out when I asked him if they hired him behind my back after they told me they fired him, Derek told me flat out face to face that they hired my helper behind my back to do the paint and the drywall. And the $850 is for the additional work that was going to be done for the paint.
Why didn't you do the work?
Because they went behind my back and told me they
Had
fired my
someone
helper.
else do it?
And hired my helper to do
All right,
it.
so why should they pay you? You didn't do it.
Well, because they breached the contract with me.
Remember, you went home. You didn't see him after July 7th. You stopped working.
Yep.
Come on, man, with that con. Your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted. Have a good day. Con ain't nothing, man.
And I didn't steal nothing.
Live in my house.
You know, well, you looked me dead in the eye and told me
Leave it alone.
that you hired Tony behind my back, and I told you I'd take $500 off for digging that trench. Sit here and tell me that you didn't say that.
I did not say
Oh, lying piece of. Let's go. Lying piece of.